What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am building in the world of, I was gonna say Brightchester, but it's not, it's Brindleton Bay. I'm building in the world of Brindleton Bay and I'm building an eco home. So what that means is this is a house that just has lots of greenery on it and around it, and I gave them solar panels and stuff like that, and they are just really, yeah, people that love to be outdoors and that love to be eco-friendly. And yes, this house is definitely inspired by the trailer that we got for, or the trailer that we all saw probably for the new expansion pack, Eco Lifestyle. So that pack, we're getting that pack in June, and yeah, I watched the trailer and I was immediately very inspired to build a house like that, because there was this really cute house featured in the trailer, and in the trailer you could kind of see how that house kind of evolved and changed, and it had a ladder on it. I know, I'm so excited for it. And yeah, I just really loved that house and I loved the idea behind it. It was all eco-friendly and it had a vertical garden and lots of plants growing on top and stuff like that. And I thought it looked amazing. So I was very inspired by it and I couldn't hold myself and I started building pretty much immediately. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we are getting that pack in June and the comments on that trailer have been, yeah, kind of out there, to say the least. Let's just say that not everybody is excited for this pack, which is all fine because, you know, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Every person loves different things and wants to see different things for the game and add it to the game. But me personally, I am very excited about this pack. Like, I had to watch the trailer a couple of times because in the beginning it had to grow on me a little bit because I wasn't sure what the exact purpose of the pack was going to be, and yeah, I didn't really quite understand what I was looking at in the beginning. The only thing that I really understood was there is this world that's all foggy and has a lot of smog and is all gross and dirty, and you can be the change in that world to make it, yeah, healthy and green again. And yeah, that's the aspect that I got when I first watched the trailer, and I think that's really cool. Now, I am a little bit concerned about the gameplay and everything because, yeah, we don't really know anything about it just yet, so it's not fair maybe to talk super like negative about it, which is not what I want to do. But I am a little bit concerned, or let's just say eager, to find out more about the gameplay aspects of this pack, because what's going to happen exactly? Like, what is going to be the replay value of this game? Like with Strangerville, for example, I loved that pack, which is an unpopular opinion, I think, but I loved that pack and I loved playing through that storyline. But I only did it once and I don't necessarily want to do it again. I don't feel the need to play that exact same storyline again. So yeah, I don't know. I am a little bit concerned about the aspects for gameplay about this pack because I'm just curious to see what they're going to give us and what it is going to be like. And for example, if you want to live in Evergreen Harbor, is that what it's called? Evergreen Harbor? Something like that? I'm not quite sure. But if you want to live there, are you always going to have to play through that gameplay feature to be able to get a nice looking world? Or, like, for example, if you want to start a new save file and you want to, for example, start a new legacy family or something in that world, and you don't really want to be involved in the whole voting and changing the world kind of gameplay aspect, is the world always going to stay gross? Like, do you always have to play a part in that, or is there a choice to just not play a part in that and still have a nice looking world? Like, I'm just curious to see things like that. Like, how is that going to work out? And I'm sure that they're going to tell us more about that a little bit later on. So I am really curious and really excited to find out just a little bit more about the pack and the whole gameplay. But yeah, like I mentioned, when I watched the trailer, even though I didn't really understand what I was looking at, I was so inspired by just looking at that little house that was featured in the trailer. I thought it looked so cute and it was something completely different. And we're also getting a lot of container home type things for the Build and Buy catalog. for example, that wallpaper, that's just, in my opinion, it looks great because I love building in this style, like the containery aspect and just, yeah, containery looking things and more like recycled materials and stuff like that. I love using that in my builds. So yeah, I am really excited about the build and buy objects as far as I could see in the trailer right now. So yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly what we're getting with this pack yet when it comes to like gameplay and stuff. But all I know is from watching that 1.5 minute trailer, I was immediately super inspired to build something new and something out of my comfort zone. So that to me is just a really good thing. And yeah, it gets me a little bit more excited for the pack, I think. So yeah, that's that about the new pack. I personally am really excited about it, and yeah, like I mentioned, it definitely got me out of my comfort zone to build something a little bit different, because the shape of this house is really different and really funky, and it has lots of different parts to it and different materials, which gives it that like recycled look, like they probably just found a whole heap of used materials and just started to build a house out of that, and they probably just added bits and pieces along the way to the house. So yeah, that makes it look very interesting and unique in my opinion, and I loved playing around with that. For example, I was so inspired to build this house. Like, I am a very slow builder, but this house, I built it in one sitting, and I think it took me about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more than that, but I ended up with 2 hours of footage for this build. Now, obviously, I did pause my recording software from time to time when I had to think about some things, but for the most part, I built this in a little bit over 2 hours, and for me, that is very quick. I don't think I have ever built something that quickly in this game because I tend to overthink everything. Every wallpaper, every flooring, every chair, every plant, like even for the landscaping. I tend to overthink everything. But for this build, everything just came very naturally to me. From the get-go, I immediately knew what I wanted, even though I didn't really have a plan, but just as I was going along, as I was building, I was just inspired, and I just didn't really have to think about anything at all. And that to me is just perfect. Like, I really needed that, like, yeah, that refreshment, if that makes any sense, for The Sims, because we've been having the same items for so long, and even though for this build I don't even have any new items just yet, still I felt so inspired, and everything, I just kind of saw some of the items in sort of a new light. I mean, that may sound a little bit extra, but I don't know, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I was just so inspired by watching that little trailer and everything they build in that world, and just the world in itself. I think it looks stunning, even when it's gross and all foggy and smogged up and stuff like that. I still think it looks very nice. It's just a very unique sort of world, and definitely something that we don't have yet. Like, to me, it kind of looks like it's a city, but not a city like San Myshuno. Like, it's sort of like a more industrial city, and I love that vibe. So I am really excited, like I mentioned 1,000 times, but I am just very excited to find out more about this pack and see what's in it and see what we're getting. And I'm mostly excited about the new world and the build and buy objects. I'm not gonna lie. I'm most of all a builder in The Sims. I play the game from time to time, but I don't love that as much as I love building, I suppose. So yeah, I'm definitely very excited about the new build and buy objects that we're getting for this expansion pack. And I can't wait to get my greedy Sims hands on it. Like, I'm so excited about it. But yeah, that's my ramble about the new pack. As you could probably see, I built this house. It's not that big, but it's also not too small, but I built it with 2 Sims in mind, maybe either 2 elderly people or maybe even 2 younger people. But I was thinking, if it was to be elderly people living here, it could be Sims that are retired and they kind of just moved out of the city and they want to dedicate the rest of their lives to being eco-friendly and trying to make a change in the world and harvest their own crops. As you can see in the landscaping, there's lots of crops and fruit trees and stuff like that outside, and I just placed down lots of planter boxes So there's heaps of space for your Sims to just plant things and harvest things, and I think that's the perfect thing for an eco-friendly house like this. But yeah, that is a possibility for the storyline. It could also be, like I mentioned, to younger people who maybe they lived in the city before, or maybe they grew up in the city even, and they were like, okay, this is not what we want. This is way too much pollution and it's not good for the world. We're going to destroy the earth. Let's try and make a change. So maybe they like moved out of the city to a lot here in Brindleton Bay, surrounded by, ooh, my Siri is going off again. I don't know why that happens all the time. But yeah, I'm sorry, like I mentioned, they just moved to this lot, this foresty area in Brindleton Bay, and they started building up their own house using just bits and pieces of recycled material that they found. And yeah, they're really trying to make a change in the world and trying to be friendly to the environment and harvest their own crops so that they don't need to buy everything in the supermarket and things like that. And I thought that was a really cute idea. And this build also kind of inspired me to use items that I don't use very often. For example, this bed that I use, I don't even remember which pack it comes with, maybe like Outdoor Retreat or something, I'm not even sure. But that bed, I have never used it before. Like, I barely even see it in the catalog. My brain just skips over it. Like, I don't use it because I think it's a little bit of a weird looking bed. So that's just one of the items that I pretty much never use. The same goes for the dresser from Realm of Magic. But for this build, they just worked, and I didn't even try anything else, barely. Like, I saw that bed and I was like, wait, I have literally never used this before, and for this build, it's perfect. I'm going to use it. So yeah, I don't know, I just kind of love it. And then it also comes in that green swatch, so that was even more perfect. And I also used those blinds that are kind of like, or those curtains that are kind of sheer looking. You can see them right there. Downstairs, I used them in the green swatch, which is a swatch that I have never used before, which is crazy because why wouldn't I use it? And for this build, those kinds of items or swatches that I literally never use, I just saw them and I immediately was like, I need to use those items and those swatches. The same goes for that little bench here that I placed on the little green balcony. I've never used it before, but I think it looks great. And then here I also made an inside garden where you can maybe grow flowers or fruits that need a little bit more warmth and a little bit more sunlight maybe. So that's why I mimicked kind of with those lights from Get to Work. They kind of look like those lamps that also give warmth. So I just placed those there to kind of give the illusion of an upstairs garden, to just grow flowers and fruits that need a little bit more warmth. But we're already at the end of this video. As you can see, we moved on into screenshots. So I really hope that you like this build. You can always let me know what you think about it and what you think about the expansion pack in the comment section down below. I love to read about your opinions. You can download this build of the gallery if you want to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. My handle on there is @Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!